David, are you ready for the hierarchy of the MCU universe to change forever?
Yeah, yeah. Who's The Rock playing?
Who would The Rock play? He would have made a good
One.
Hercules back in the day
Yeah.
when he
I mean, he
wasn't
was
so
the.
big for his britches. You know,
Mhm.
like like Scorpion King era Rock, where he still like had a little
Yeah, yeah.
something
Had
something to lose.
he might be heading back to that because of the bombing of the Black Adam because he's in a movie called The Smashing Machine from the Uncut Gems director about a pill addicted wrestler that apparently is supposed to be pretty crazy. It's an A24 thing.
Ooh,
And then they're now saying he and DiCaprio and Emily Blunt are going to be in that Scorsese crime movie in Hawaii. So, like, maybe the Black Adam finally woke him up to be like, oh, I should go back to being in, like, cool movies again.
is he?
I don't know.
Did he? Whatever happened to that? Didn't he have a TV show where he was like president or something? But it was also about a younger version of him. Like it was an
Yeah, yeah,
everybody
yeah.
hates Chris scenario, kind of.
Yeah, The Rock. Yeah, it was like a young Rock in the White House or some crazy shit, right?
Yeah, I wonder whatever happened to that
It was
show.
actually called Young Rock.
Yeah, it was called Young Rock. Let's look that up right now, even though that's not even remotely
Yeah.
what we're here
Look at the
for.
formative years of superstar Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It ran 37 episodes.
Did it go past one season?
It got three
It
seasons and
got three.
37,
It got David. It got 3 seasons.
37 episodes, three seasons. It was on NBC, so like
God,
it was a hit.
that's crazy. What was the reception? How did people think it worked? 90% based on 31 reviews. Wow.
Dang, most people liked it. But
All
see,
right.
TV. I will say, real like I'm already against using Rotten Tomatoes for movies, but it really doesn't work for TV because usually if you're going to watch enough episodes to review it, you probably like it. So there's kind of a confirmation bias there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't like a show, you just stop watching after an episode or two and probably don't end up ever reviewing it. I guess is what I'm getting
Does
at.
he ever? He shows up in this thing? Like, could you? Maybe I guess he has. I guess he is a little bit willing to like slum it because like the idea that he would just be showing up in a TV show is also kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It says he plays himself in scenes set in the future.
that's crazy.
Let me check IMDb to see how many episodes he was in. Like if he's in
Yes,
every single. Apparently 37 episodes. He is in every episode. That's crazy.
that is crazy. That is batshit insane. But anyways,
Mhm.
we're not here to talk about Young Rock, even though it sounds very interesting. I don't know if this is a rant, more just us dropping some takes on some hot news because I mean I probably get angry because it is a little dumb how all of this worked, but I brought my good buddy, my grumpy old man of the comic book universe, David,
Oh
here to
yeah.
talk about the amazing casting that happened but a day ago when we found out Avengers Doomsday is now in production.
We did indeed. We saw all those chairs with their names written on them. That's what I was seeing from the internet. That right? That was how they did it.
Yeah, so here's how this worked. Marvel went live with just the word
Mhm.
announcement, and it started with a close up
Whoa.
of a chair that had Chris Hemsworth on the back. From there, for the next 4 fucking hours,
Of chairs.
the
4 hours
next
of
four
chairs.
hours, one chair was placed every like 11 to 15 minutes. And
Longer than Avengers Doomsday probably will be. I would.
longer than Avengers Doomsday is it. And the only thing to really break it up was is that for a while, for most of it, there was this long like droning sound. Like it literally, like it was literally like I
like
guess
like
trying
like
to lull you into like a state of like rest between the announcements
it
because
was a couch announcing ASMR. The way you said droning sound made me think of like speaking of Lynch there and Inland Empire, like all those
it
creepy
was kind of
noises.
Inland Empire esque because like it was just a long droning sound, and then when they got ready to do another chair, they would play the theme song to whatever chair they were about to sit down. So the Anthony Mackie theme would kick in, and they'd put the Anthony Mackie theme down. Paul Rudd theme, the Ant-Man theme would pop on, and they put Paul Rudd's chair down. Like, but other than that,
These celebrities weren't appearing.
no, they didn't. The only one who sat down in his chair was Robert Downing Jr. And like, we already knew he was in the movie. So I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't know why he needed to be like the final chair. It was so strange. It's just utter madness is what it was.
Yeah.
As a
He,
matter of fact,
he did get the and Anthony Stewart Head as Giles, so
he was
that's
the
good at
last
least.
one. Yeah, he was the.
Mhm.
It was who went right before him? Oh, it was Pedro Pascal, and then the man himself.
So Mr. Fantastic and Doom were the last
Yeah,
two.
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing that people kept
Mhm.
mentioning. Um, that I also agree with. Like, because we're gonna get into like all of it, I guess, and just the annoyance of it all. But like, they didn't even do this in a way that was like, okay, here are your Avengers. Okay, here are your X-Men. Spoiler alert: there's a lot of X-Men
Yeah, yeah,
coming back.
yeah.
We'll talk about it. Or hey, here are your here are your whatchamacallit, here are your Fantastic Four, here are your Avengers, here are your X-Men. So
Mhm.
they didn't do it that way, which, you know, is also kind of crazy because like that would have been the easiest way to do it, right? And it would have like made it a little like the whole thing is just absolutely
Would
fucking
have made it not
insane
4 hours for one thing.
because
Would
like
have made it
who
45 minutes.
yeah, exactly. Like the movie, the show, the YouTube video that sums all this up is a minute
Mhm.
and 48 seconds. You
Because it's just
spent
a class list. It's not, like.
yeah, you spent 5.5 hours after nearly 5.5 hours to do what could have been summed up in a minute and 48 seconds. And I guess the idea is you want to get people watching it all day and talking about it and like it's spreading like wildfire. But like I can't imagine that just putting it out in a minute and 48-minute video wouldn't have also had the same effect. Like
Well,
from every level, it's a very stupid way of revealing things.
here's the thing. I remember Game of Thrones used to do this with like characters that would be in the new season, like at Comic Con or whatever. And it would just be a 2 minute montage of each actor would just be like, "Hi, I'm Keisha Castle Hughes, and I'm playing Obara Sand," and then it would be, "I'm Jonathan Price, and I'm playing the High Sparrow." And the fans would like applaud because they'd be like, "Oh, cool! They got that dude to play that character." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And those were like 2 minutes long, and it was over. And they just played the Game of Thrones theme in the background. They showed the 10, new cast members, and then we were done.
yeah, they don't even show up. Which I guess to be fair, it's like 20 fucking names, so like
Mhm.
there's a it's been a bit hard to get them all to like come in. But yeah, it's so like on every level, it's a horrible reveal, and I don't
Mhm.
know who at Marvel like was like, man, this is the way to do this. Like this is absolutely the way to do it. 5.5 hours just to see the camera pan to another chair.
Yeah.
It's utterly and then again, I guess if you also like why was it so long in between chairs too? Because like 11 to 15 minutes is fucking ridiculous if you're gonna introduce 21
There's an Andy,
names.
there's an Andy Warhol movie from the '60s called Empire, if you're familiar, which is an 8 hour shot of the Empire State Building, and it kind of sounds in the same vein as
Yeah.
that movie.
Well, at least at the Empire State Building, you'd have people going in and out, and like maybe the monotony is broken up.
You see the sun set and the lights turn on. At least things happen in it because it.
Yeah, maybe a guy gets mugged outside of it. Maybe somebody decides to pee on the side of it. Like there's at least a chance something interesting could happen.
Mhm.
Like I sometimes when I'm at when I need something in the background, I'll go to YouTube and pull up like a live stream of Times Square or something because sometimes it's
Yeah.
fun just to like watch something for like in the background and just like occasionally see something interesting. But
I knew a guy who was very into train videos, which are just 8 hours of like someone on YouTube will just hit your GoPro to like a train that goes all the way through Germany, and you'll just be seeing what the train is seeing
Yeah,
as it
see again,
passes.
that is at least 10 times more interesting than seeing a bunch of
Mhm.
fucking casting chairs. Like it's just so weird, and like I get we are now in a universe or in a world where like a movie being in production is like a quote unquote big deal, but like at the same time, I guess it's the old man in me that's just like, is this a big deal? A movie I already knew you were gonna make is now being made. Whoop
I
de
mean,
doo.
like, very much so. I mean, that's the thing where like, yeah, we are now old men because there was a time when you would excitedly go to superhero hype or Ain't It Cool News or whatever
Yeah,
and be
yeah, yeah.
like, oh shit, they cast Jennifer Garner as Elektra or whatever. Or even up till like the beginning of the MCU, you would be like, "Oh dang, they just cast Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch," and
Yeah.
like all that. Um,
It's not like I don't understand that side of it. I remember still when we would used to get excited about Doctor Who casting, and when
oh, that
Peter Capaldi was announced, we went and watched his movie to see
in,
like
in
to
the loop
speculate.
came out super excited, like, "Oh shoot, like this guy's gonna be a crazy doc,"
Yeah,
like all that. Yeah.
and like I remember we were pretty excited when we found out about when the Spider-Man No Way Home was coming out, because there was a lot of like, oh, is Toby and Andrew gonna be in it or
Oh yeah,
not? And
up till 2 years ago, that
yeah,
was exciting. And see,
ish.
see that worked because of the. That was actually one of the last times I thought a casting actually had a little bit of mystery, where
Yeah,
it was, like you would actually get the frustration of like, oh, they might be in it. Are they gonna be? Are they? And all the way up till opening night, you were not sure. Like
yeah. No,
that's why I was saying, like, I think I talked about this with you off mic that I'm just like, why? And again, maybe I'm just too old fashioned. I'm like, why would you not just like confirm 10 of them and then the rest of them could be surprises when you go see Avengers Doomsday?
well,
You know
yeah,
what I
because you
mean?
know that is to your point. Like that's what Spider-Man did. Like they were vehement that they weren't in it
We're not in it.
until the very minute that the movie came out. Like, have we really like? I guess it's just that they're just too scared now, man. Like I think
It
that's
feels like
literally what it boils down to. I think they are so terrified to leave anything to chance, and they're just like, we got to get butts in these seats. So fuck it, all the X-Men are coming back, and we're gonna make sure all the X-Men is coming out, and we're gonna unthaw the skeletal Patrick Stewart and make him go to press conferences
yeah, yeah.
where he can talk
Or old
about how fucking excited he is to be Professor fucking Charles Xavier for the millionth time, even though he should have retired a long time ago.
which again, man, remember, I'll never let this go. I mean, the entirety of our Deadpool b Wolverine commentary, which I think might still be the most like one of my least favorite commentaries because I was so grouchy on it. I wish I'd been maybe in a better mood during um but that one I was like, "Oh cool, like Logan doesn't mean as much as it did." And now it doubly doesn't mean as much as it did, and now it triply does because of the Doctor Strange and now this
Yeah,
just
like we'll get to it, but we'll do this in a semi order, but
yeah,
like
yeah.
just
Yeah.
to circle back to the casting of it all, it's very dumb, and or the way this
Mhm.
was done, it's very dumb, and it just tells you that a movie that you knew for sure was going to be made ASAP is getting made ASAP, and that's what it boils down to. But we'll move. Table the X-Men stuff because we're gonna get to it. But for now,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna go down in
Well,
this in.
I did want to say one
Sure, throw it at me.
thing on the subject before, but I have actually forgotten it, so
Well,
never mind.
we'll get back. We're gonna get back to the
Yeah,
X-Men. I just
we'll
want
say
to.
something will conjigger it. But there was another thing, like in our intro, I wanted to say before we moved on to the nitty gritty.
Okay. Well, if you
Um,
remember it, say it.
I remember. It's not X-Men related. It's like the philosophy of the MCU related, where like, look, I get it. And this is where I start to struggle because I'm a movie guy first, and I feel like um, one thing I think what I like about movies as an art form is that they end. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
TV can run in perpetuity. Comic books are designed to never end, and I think that's fine and dandy for those art forms. I do think movies work better if when you leave, there's a certain, like, wow, like, was with these characters for 90 minutes and the last shot is going to stick with me or whatever,
Right.
because
Right.
that's what they're going to be doing forever. And of course, like, there are sequels and all that. But even then, I still prefer, like, a Dark Knight or a Mad Max franchise where, they all work standalone
Yeah.
to some degree or another.
Well, that's
Yeah.
always gonna be the problem with the MCU is that
Sure.
it does want to be a comic book at the end,
But what I
and
was thinking is, and I also didn't necessarily, for a while I was kind of like, I don't mind that the MCU is like the one exception to movies where they decide to mimic how comic books work.
right.
But one thing I think would have been a much better happy medium would be to just recast people. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
exactly. Like I
if
think I 100% like.
and I would even feel like a comic book, how, like, comic books will have different art styles. You'll be like, oh, weird, Spider-Man looks funky in this one or
Well, and
whatever. Like,
comic
I
books
feel like,
have been doing that for fucking years as well.
yeah,
There are
it's the
two
same
Spider.
character, but he looks and acts radically different depending on who's
There
drawing
are
him or writing.
multiple versions of these characters.
Yeah,
Captain America has been played by 4 people. Spider-Man, technically, there's 2 of them riding around, and they just a long time ago was just like, fuck it,
yeah,
I'm Spider-Man, and I'm Spider-Man too. Like, it is in the nature of comics that people leave the mask and new people take them over. And I know, to be fair, they tried this with Anthony Mackie, and it has not worked out as well for them. I
yeah.
don't think
It
that's
hasn't taken.
Anthony. I don't think that's Anthony Mackie's fault. I think
No,
there are
no.
2 big problems with the Anthony Mackie thing. I think, nobody knows how to fucking write a Black Captain America, which is fucking insane because we have an amazing Black Panther movie, but you can't figure out how to do a Black Captain America movie when you have decades of comics as well that have
Yeah,
fairly done this well. I mean, it's not. I speak as a white Latino man, but it's not hard to convey a Black Captain America and make it a really good, thrilling narrative. You just have to find the right person to write it, and clearly,
yeah.
you haven't found that out. The other problem I think is as well is,
Like Isaiah Bradley, I feel like is a more effective Black Captain America
oh,
just because
100%.
he has a little, like, darkness and trauma in his past. Like, he's got more iron in his heart, and I
Yeah,
feel like if they'd written Sam maybe to be a little more like that as he goes on, I think that might have been a pretty helpful. Though again, I haven't
absolutely.
seen Brave New World. Maybe I'll love it when I see it. Wouldn't
Oh
it be
God,
funny?
that I
after
would laugh
after
so
the
fucking
2 hours
hard.
rant, I'm like, sorry, Tanner, it's the best MCU movie since
I would
Avengers
ask you
1.
if you were shitting with me. You'd have to get on a You'd have to get on a FaceTime call, look me dead
Yeah,
in the eye, and tell me that it was your favorite. And even then,
you'd
I'd
be
just
like,
be like, okay, well, what have you done with David? Bring
you'd be, yeah,
back
yeah,
my
yeah.
David.
Exactly. That's what I'll say if I'm ever kidnapped, to let
Yeah,
you know there's, like, a gun on the other side of the phone
absolutely.
like, when I'm talking to you. But anyway,
I think the other problem with the Captain America thing is I think people really want Sebastian Stan to be Captain America, and I think
yeah,
he was a
because
little
of
bit
Bucky and
better
all.
set up to have that role on him than I
I would
think.
agree. I would agree with that. Just
Yeah.
as a just watching the MCU, I feel like, yeah, Bucky taking over, because Bucky, I think they did a lot more legwork with that character than Sam Wilson to
Oh,
kind of set
absolutely.
him up, make him everybody's favorite or whatever.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's why he's the kind of the main point of Thunderbolts is that reason. But all right, let's get it. We're gonna get into the list. So first and foremost, they revealed Chris Hemsworth as coming. Chris Hemsworth was the first chair they put down.
Wow, I can't believe Chris Hemsworth is back as Thor. That's amazing.
He's the only person that I'm like, he could stick around. I want to see old man Thor. I would like to see 60-year-old Chris Hemsworth doing like the beard and like the Santa Claus look. And
There was a there was a comment, and now I wish I'd found it earlier, that was like, "Oh, good, Thor's back. They better not put him in an apron and cuck him like they did last time."
okay,
Like,
so
someone was very mad at girly Thor, I guess. Which I don't even
somebody
remember that was a thing, but whatever.
somebody also said nobody has done Thor as well as the Russo brothers, which I thought was an in fucking insane take. Yes,
That's insane to me
I know
because
Love and Thunder kind of sucks, and I've come around to that.
Ragnarok is good.
But Thor
Like,
Ragnarok is like the quintessential Thor story. It does
I don't
so
even.
much for that character that then the Russo brothers undo in like 30 minutes.
Oh, it's so beautiful in Thor Ragnarok. And look, I'm an MCU grouch, but see, when I like him, and that one was one I thought was a totally fine, enjoyable movie that had a lot of good moments. And yeah,
Yeah,
when Thor accepts responsibility and he steps up to the ship, and Hulk and Valkyrie and Loki are flanking him, and the theme from the first Thor like
yeah.
kicks in, and you're like, oh cool, like I'm feeling
When
things.
he remembers that he's the god of thunder, and they do that
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins, you're not the god of hammers, and like when he jumps down to na, 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 like the idea that like the Russo brothers and what they do in Infinity War is better than that, and like he's not bad at Infinity War, but it very
I,
specifically
I,
undoes a lot of his shit too.
Yeah, I like sad fat Thor just fine. I guess it doesn't like I don't love it, but it has its moments. But yeah, it is this thing where you do a movie where his whole arc is finally accepting his responsibility and ascending to the throne, and then you have another movie where at the end it tells him like, hey, you should never have had to have been forced to be king. You can do whatever you want. And
Yeah.
it's like both of those are fine, but doing one and then the other gives you real bad whiplash.
Yeah,
You
well,
know
they
what I mean?
immediately give him back another cool, powerful weapon after taking the first
Yeah.
powerful weapon from him. They immediately give him an eye back, even though he lost his eye in the
Right,
other
right.
one. Like
And look
I
cool. Looked cool with one eye.
yeah, he looked cool with one eye. And like again, I don't. It's not that take on Thor is bad, but to be like, oh, nobody's done the Thor as good as the
Definitive
Russo brothers.
Thor.
It's just a
Yeah.
crazy ass, crazy ass idea to have.
Like even Thor 1, which I know is a bit of a punching bag in some circles. It's not considered one of the best. I actually kind of like it. That one has him and Loki, like and he when he brings the hammer down on Loki, it's cool and it's a good character moment,
Yeah.
And yeah, him searching the stars for Natalie Portman at the end while the triumphant music plays. It's like those are fine Thor moments,
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
I like I know Thor 2 gets a bad rap, but Thor 1 and 3 are fine, and I don't know, I don't mind. I do like the what Love and Thunder kind of does for him. I don't think the problem with Love and Thunder is
That
so
they
much
he's a
him.
girly man or something.
Yeah, cuz I like that he ends like with a daughter and like finding a
Yeah.
new like lease in life and stuff. Like those aren't bad
Yeah,
moments.
I really don't like Love and Thunder, but that's more for me. It's execution more than like anything that actually like. It's not like I'm mad at anything that happens in it. I just think like it looks kind of like CGI goo, and I think the a very potentially cool villain is wasted, and I think it doesn't really. It
Yeah.
brings in the cancer thing with Natalie Portman, but doesn't really commit to actually going there.
No.
Like
And it ends
yeah.
specifically to show you, hey, she just made it to Viking heaven.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, I agree
like
with you. Like, I have no problem with like the depiction of Thor or him being a dad at the end or
yeah,
whatever. That's like pretty normal
yeah.
to me.
All right, so then we have Vanessa Kirby, which no duh. We have Anthony Mackie, no duh. Sebastian Stan, no duh.
Yeah. So I
Next,
guess he survives the events of Thunderbolts
yeah,
though. So
it's kind of funny. So just as an aside, because just so everybody in Thunderbolts is listed in this casting choice except for
yeah,
Taskmaster. So they just kind of spoiled their own movie.
they really do let you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
they might be the one that dies of the Suicide Squad they're setting up here.
yeah. So you're gonna know that everybody's gonna survive in Thunderbolts
Do you
except for
think they're
one
gonna
person.
do? Is it going to be Thunderbolts in name only, or do you think they're actually going to do the twist that they're a supervillain team?
I think it's gonna be Thunderbolts and I think it's
Yeah,
legitimately
yeah.
gonna be Suicide Squad,
It'll
but
just
the
be
Marvel
Marvel
version.
Suicide Squad. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I would bet.
Louise Driver, Elena from Seinfeld. I don't think she's gonna be like, oh, I'm a bad guy at the end, or like,
Yeah.
Norman Osborn is gonna walk out. I wish, but I don't. I don't think
Mm-mm.
any of that is. I don't think any of that is happening. I think they'll
Actually
literally.
gonna go down. Ooh, what
Yeah,
if she turned out to be? What if she's like, my real name is Nancy Osborn, and it turns out MCU
dude.
Osborn is a girl? That'd be
Again,
kind of cool.
that would be cool, but I don't. I can't imagine it's gonna happen.
No.
I just. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna go that way. Um. Paul Rudd was interesting because I wasn't really sure if the MCU was gonna do anything more with him after
Yeah, because
Kang. So
Ant-Man Quantumania was the real scorched earth. Like
yeah.
maybe they would be like, "No, you're too much poison, Paul Rudd. Get out of here."
Yep. But hey, he's
There's
gonna be in it.
a-
Good for him. They
That between two ferns show is Zach Galifianakis where he interviews people comedically.
yeah.
Has a very funny dig at Paul Rudd in the episode where he interviews him,
Oh really?
where
What's
he
the
says
dig?
like where he says to Paul Rudd, "It's so amazing that you've been able to have such a rich and interesting career adjacent to comedy." Which is like, yeah, you're not wrong. He's in a lot of like kind of comedy movies.
yeah. No, he
Is his
is.
deal. But, yeah, but anyway. So Paul Rudd, okay.
Okay, so the next surprising one, Latita Wright is gonna be coming back as Shuri. I would, if I was a betting man, I'd say probably her last role. I think she might die in this movie.
Ooh, they might kill off Cap. Well, so they will have killed off two Black Panthers in a row.
Yeah, but I mean, there was some behind the scene drama with her, right? And then
Yeah, because she's like anti-vax. She was
yeah,
an anti-vaxer. But I guess, America has pretty much decided to forget COVID, happened or is happening. So I don't know.
that
Maybe
is
they'll be
true.
like, whatever. You get a pass for going nuts during 2020.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I don't particularly have a lot of love for Wakanda Forever, but I don't know. She's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I don't mind her. I feel the same way about Wakanda Forever. It kind of just like went right through me.
Yeah.
Speaking of listeners, to let you know where I'm actually at in terms of cinema now, when I went to see a movie earlier today, the theater was promising that Sinners was going to be out in 70 millimeter in 2 weeks, and I was like more excited about that than any of the casting
Dude,
that
I
Tanner has
saw
rattled off so far.
every time a Sinners trailer comes on, I just get so hyped. That movie looks
Yeah,
so
yeah,
fucking good.
yeah, no, absolutely, man. That crazy shining door shot where one of the
Mm-hmm.
Michael B. Jordans is like, "Let me in" or whatever. That's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, and the accent work in that movie is so fucking good. I can't wait to hear them talking about sin and shit.
It looks like True Blood, but good is kind of the
Yeah,
vibe
that
I'm
that was
getting.
kind of the
So,
vibe I was getting as well.
anyway,
All right, so next we have Wyatt Russell, which is also kind of crazy that like U.S. Avengers is gonna be in Doomsday.
yeah, that's something.
Yeah, it's kind of it's. I mean, I
You get.
guess.
Wouldn't it be really funny if he actually like they do a full redemption arc for him, and at the end it's like you are actually worthy of being Captain
I think
America?
that's exactly. I can't either that or they're gonna kill him. Like there's kind of the
Or
two options there.
Make him the new Winter Soldier.
Ooh, like they mind
Pull
blast him
Bucky
or
off,
something.
and Wyatt takes over. But anyway,
Then we have Eben Moss Bacharach. So the thing
hmm
again, I don't know why. It's so weird to me that like you wouldn't do this in groupings. Like, why is Vanessa Kirby second, but then the thing
then the
is
thing is like Wade in
is
that
way at the
that's
end.
why that's why I gave up, and maybe it's just because pot has destroyed my brain. But I was like, man, if you're not grouping these by franchise, I don't know what to do with this list.
No, it's just fucking weird. Next we have Simu Lee. So he's back. Shang-Chi is coming back after
Finally, he never.
Shang-Chi was made in 2021. So it's 4 years ago. So maybe I'm being a
Will
little
there be a
bit.
Shang-Chi 2? I know it's on the roster, but who do we believe that is
I
going to
don't
happen?
know. I think we are gonna go so hard into the mutant saga that I truly
Yeah, that
wonder.
everything else that they were setting up is going to just be like ground into the dust,
I
like
truly
trampled under all the
wonder
X-Men.
how long,
rushing in.
yeah, how much Avengering we're even gonna get to do, because like you can just feel that they want to be in the X-Men world. It just this casting alone, it just shows that. Like we'll get to it, but like
Oh yeah.
it's just crazy. Like they really, that's where they want to be.
So, yeah, so
Speaking,
Doomsday is so it looks like Doomsday is shaping up to be like welcome to the MCU, Fantastic Four and X-Men. Like that's
well,
what the
that's kind of
vibe
the
might
crazy thing,
be.
because like what's it? We'll talk about it at the end or when we get to the X-Men thing, but like I really wonder how Doom is gonna fit into any of this, because it really feels like this is an Avengers versus X-Men movie.
Yeah, they're not. It's not like they've really been casting like Mole Man or Alicia Mars, Masters or Silver Surfer. Like, there's not been a lot of emphasis on Fantastic Four stuff
No.
in Avengers Doomsday. Like,
So next
no
we
Willie
have
Lumpkin, the mailman. Where's he in this cast?
where's yeah no well where's fucking
Super Skrull.
Doom, yeah, the scroll, Super Scroll, or Doombots, or Doom's Herald, or whatever, his champion, that girl who's really obsessed with them.
Yeah. Doom's fangirl there
Yeah,
or
Doom's
whatever.
fangirl. She becomes like his champion or something. I don't remember all of the inner workings of Latveria, which is not Latvia
Yeah, so
that showed up in Daredevil.
in the Daredevil show.
So next we have Florence Pugh. So she's coming back. Um,
Yeah, so again, another Thunderbolts lady
Kelsey Grammer coming back as Beast.
as Beast, since they teased him in that Marvels movie I didn't
Yeah,
watch, right?
yeah, he's in the end credits of Marvel, all of a second. So I guess, which is kind of funny because Monica Rambeau is not in this casting list, but like you would think she would be the bridge that was gonna bring
Yeah,
these
but
two universes together, but whatever. This list is actually, it's kind of funny. This casting list is actually not full of like the people you'd expect to be in it. And
right.
I'm kind of curious if it's the full list or if they're going to do quote unquote more reveals. Maybe we'll get
They'll
another,
do another 4 hours of
yeah,
chairs
maybe we'll
to
do
cast some
another
more.
5 hours of chairs in like 2 weeks or something. Okay, so next we've got Lewis Pullman. So the Sentry is going to live through whatever centurying
Okay.
is going to happen. We have Danny Ramirez, so Joaquin is coming back. Joseph Quinn, so the Human Torch is going to be, surprise, surprise. There are more than two members of the Fantastic Four appearing in this movie.
I somehow misremembered that what's his name, the bear guy, Jeremy Allen White. I thought he was one of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I also constantly think that as well. Like every
I thought
time
he
I
was
look
either
at
the
him, I'm
Thing or
like,
the
aren't
Human
you?
Torch, but I guess he is not.
No, he is not. Though again, you are not the only one who has had that problem multiple times. David Harbour, which is cool. I do like Red
Yeah,
Guardian. Like I think that like whole making him like a real dad's dad and kind of a loser, but like a dude who doesn't really realize he's a loser. I do think that is a fun take on Red Guardian, and I am
I
excited.
agree. That found family stuff in Black Widow was all right.
Yeah.
I did not mind that.
We have Winston Duke next, so M'Baku is coming back. Which again,
All right,
I
good
kind
for
of,
him.
I guess he's not becoming the Black Panther. That'd be kind of cool. I'd be interested in
Yeah.
that. Hannah,
Did you in the comics? That character is just a dude in a gorilla costume, and he likes abducting women. Is his bag? He's always
yeah.
like trying to abduct Shuri to marry her and stuff. And it's like
I bet he
it's like
is.
Pluto. It's Pluto and Popeye essentially. Like he's
Hmm.
like Black Panther's got to eat his spinach to go beat him up, but it never
Now,
they've not brought that side of the character in.
no. But
Probably won't.
maybe he'll marry Latita White in this. I'd be down with that.
Let's
Oh, I
see if
forgot to say it. I've already missed somebody in this list.
oh yeah.
Tenoch Huerta Mejia, and if I've
Oh,
pronounced that wrong,
Namor.
Namor is coming back, and this is gonna be a movie with Sue and Namor in it. So
You think he's gonna try to romance Sue?
I don't know. Didn't he pretty hardcore like have a romance with Shuri in that Black Panther movie?
They had some of that tension, right?
Maybe they'll do
I don't
that
think
because I don't know if
I
I
don't
really
think they
want to
full
watch
on
a.
like cooch or anything because it's the MCU and that shit don't fly in that
Yeah,
world.
I don't know if I really want to watch a movie where Namor is aggressively hitting on Sue, because that seems very weird in a movie. We'll only have seen these two in one movie, so
And then they're already going to have marital difficulties.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that would be.
they're already gonna have.
Do you think they're going to do the Secret Wars thing where Doom, tricks Sue into being his bride or whatever? When he rewrites reality? Will that happen with RDJ?
Maybe, but I see. I don't. It's so. How any of this is gonna work is a question for the ages,
I
because
think we as I think we're
like
looking at this too much through comic book terms because rarely the MCU sticks that closely to
so are
what's
they just
going.
gonna have no like fucking history or like rivalry together? Is Doom just gonna be doing Doom shit and Pedro's gonna be like, this guy
Pleasure
Doom
to
seems
meet
pretty
you, Doctor
smart.
Doom. Yeah, yeah. Like they
God,
won't do their old buddies because that would suck. That would be
that would
kind of
be
a waste of.
so it'd be so fucking lame. Like that's
That'd be a big letdown.
at
I
least
agree.
every other, even that shitty Fantastic Four movie had them be friends and then become enemies. That
Yeah,
is
old friends to rivals. They're
yeah.
the classic. Yeah.
That's just the idea that that's potentially not gonna happen is
Yep.
just so fucking. It's just a fucking fart to me. Like it instantly brings the movie down. So the next
I
person
agree.
we have is Hannah John Kamen, who you probably are saying who. She was Ghost, and she's Ghost in
Oh, okay. I
Thunderbolts.
like her.
Yeah, yeah,
I remember liking her and Lawrence Fishburne in the second Ant-Man and Wasp. They had like an adorable, father daughter thing going on.
yeah.
Anyway, so good for her. So she also survives
Yeah,
Thunderbolts, I
only
guess.
again the only Thunderbolt who isn't in this casting list is Taskmaster.
Yeah.
I'm
R.I.P.
sure she'll be fine
That's
though.
he's gonna
Then
be
we,
she's gonna be the Slipknot of that movie.
yeah, and then we have Tom Hiddleston, which kind of cool. I'm excited for that just because I do like the idea of Thor and Loki having like one last. Oh, you grew up and like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went.
yeah.
I would like some kind of ending to their relationship. So
Yeah.
I'll give that a pass.
They've had plenty of them, but we can have one more as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. You're not wrong. All right, then now we get into I guess, the meat of this casting list with the arrival of Patrick Stewart, who, like I
Mhm.
said, will be wheeled out, unthawed from carbonite, and fucking
Yeah, man.
put in a chair to talk about how excited he is to appear.
Like Mr. Burns in the future episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Smithers, take me home. I'm not done unfrosting yet. When they take him out of the
exactly. I mean,
cryogenic system. Hmm?
just retire, man. Like, it's
Who
okay.
are you saying to retire?
Patrick Stewart.
I would say, yeah, definitely retire as Professor X.
Yeah,
Do other movies.
do other
Him and
movies.
did you see that Green Room movie where he's the Nazi?
No, was it good?
Oh, he rule. You would love that movie where the
Okay.
punk rockers get stuck in a bar full of Nazis and have to fight their way out.
Ooh, that does sound
And then
fun.
Patrick Stewart's the head of the Nazis. Ooh, it's good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. That sounds like a rip roaring good time. Speaking of
you watch it.
Nazis, the
Mhm.
arrival of Ian McKellen
Oh yes, yes,
as
Holocaust survivor Eric von Magneto. I
Eric von
forgot his name.
Magneto. I don't. I like even at this point, can't we just use the other Fox X-Men? I mean, I know they're not as popular, but like at least they're not all 90 years old.
Yeah, yeah, they could have used the Fast Boner or the James McAvoy.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like, were they really that not beloved? Like, what are we doing? We
Seems
have
like
two
people like
sets.
those.
We have two sets of X Men to bring back, and you have chosen the oldest fuck X Men instead of. And I get it; they're the more popular X Men, but at the same time, man, like, you really, you can't just let them rest.
Nope.
I wonder if Halle Berry was just like, "Nah, I'm good," because she's the only one who's really not returning. Well, her
I
and
was like, good, I was like, good for her.
yeah, her and Jean, her and OG Jean, Fatima, or
Yeah,
Fact,
Famke Janssen is not showing up
yeah.
either.
And then so This one actually surprised me because, as far as I remember, he didn't like being in these movies at all. But Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler,
Yeah, the only one who never came back at all. That's
yeah.
very interesting.
And I
I mean,
like I've
that one I'm
heard,
kind of excited for because I do think he is like one of the best performances in those original X-Men.
yeah, I'm
Him as
excited too.
Nightcrawler.
But I heard a rumor that he like famously hated the experience or didn't
I
like.
mean, I don't doubt it because he's the only, like I said, he's the only one that was only in one movie. He never came back for any of the other ones.
Right. So yeah. So yeah, I am also excited, kind of excited for him. Speaking of blue people, we have Rebecca Rominge as
Rebecca
Mystique.
Romaine, something like that, as your Mystique.
Yeah, which I did look up just to kind of because I remembered her being a model and she still looks damn good. So I will give her a pass on sexiness because who knows?
Oh,
Because the
you give her the sexy seal of approval. Good
yeah,
for her.
well, you know, I mean,
I
we
always
both
liked her more than I ever ended up liking Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. Because Jennifer, speaking of people who didn't seem to enjoy that experience, Jennifer Lawrence throughout those movies was definitely the weak link for me. And I love Jennifer Lawrence, but she like looked very bored as
well, yeah,
Mystique across those films.
she was very not into that.
She was not
Um,
committed to that role.
no, no, not at all. I'm kind of excited for James Marsden, who is
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
back as Cyclops.
my boy.
That's okay. I'm not
Who
against.
was always very underutilized as Cyclops in those movies. So
Hmm.
I hope maybe he'll get something to do this time.
All right, the last one we have of any real like funniness is just I can't I just cannot believe this, but Channing Tatum is coming back.
That, that is crazy.
That is
As
fucking bad shit insane, man.
he was an in joke in Deadpool as a reference to the fact that he never got to be Gambit.
And I guess we're just now retroactively gonna say I was here the whole time doing
We're not
exposition.
bringing Taylor Kitchen from X-Men Origins Wolverine, who I thought was a pretty good
Yeah,
Gambit.
no, I
Like,
mean he had the charisma. You it was a role he always wanted to do, but I don't really think the the internet was clawing for him to be Gambit. I think
no, it
he
was
wanted
always
it.
like I remember we talked about this. Even at the time, I greeted that news with like, "Huh," because I think Channing Tatum's awesome, but he never felt right as Gambit to me.
No, and like they finally let him be Gambit, but then they spend the whole movie fucking making fun of him and his accent. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you told me in the only movie he was in that I should not take him seriously. And now you want me to believe that he's like going to be a main X-Men. Like that
Yeah.
is just so fucking crazy to me. And like you said, I like Channing Tatum, and Channing Tatum can be a fucking good actor because Magic Mike 1 and 2 are really good, and even in Magic Mike 3, he is pretty damn good in that role. The movie just isn't good, but like Channing Tatum can act, and I
I
don't.
still gotta watch it. Maybe I'll love it.
Oh yeah, we a Magic Mike
I'm re-
trilogy commentary would be
Ooh, a
fucking fun.
Drunkmentary for the Magic Mike
Oh
trilogy.
yeah, Power Hour on the Magic Mike commentary. We would be
I'm
so
down.
fucking that two would just be a blast. I think we might have
Two
the
would
best
be
time ever
like
on
sloppy
two.
drunk. That might have to be our next our annual drunkmentary. Will
Yeah.
be
Oh
for the
my
Magic
god.
Mike
Because
trilogy.
one's just a good movie, but two, when you get into the sexy Avengers and them just fucking having a good time and being on a road
Making
trip.
ladies smile across the country or whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, I would that drunk would be so much fun. But yeah, I mean Channing Tatum is not a bad actor, but like I don't know how to take him seriously as Gambit when you spent a whole movie making fun of him as Gambit. Like fucking everything Deadpool says about him is like, can we get a dialect coach in here? His accent's terrible and
Yep.
stuff. And so are you gonna have him do the accent again? Like the one you made fun of for like a whole fucking 30, 40 minutes of a movie? Are you gonna have him
I suppose
reprise it? I don't get it, man. I just don't like I don't know. I think there's more better characters for him too. Like If you really wanted to, you know,
Make him Wonder Man.
yeah, make him Wonder Man. He would have been a good Wonder Man. Okay,
Mhm.
so then we have Pedro Pascal, which cool. Then we have Robert Downey Jr. And that is at least your initial Doomsday cast, which is interesting. I guess we aren't bringing Brie Larson back at least for the first movie, and not bringing Hulk back and Jeremy Renner. I understand because I think Hawkeye was kind of his last one, so I'm not
Yeah,
entirely surprised. I think a lot of the OGs are gonna come back though for Secret
makes
Wars.
sense. 'Cause yeah, if they're bringing back Downey, they kind of have to make it a full cast reunion,
Yeah,
right?
I mean Scarlett Johansson has up and down said she's never coming back, but
Yeah,
we all
she is
know
just outright like, I'm done with that
we'll
shit.
see. I think you know how the House of Mouse likes to just pull up with their dumb trucks
With
of
their
money
one
and
truck of money. Yep.
yeah,
Where you just
and make
like,
you an
all right.
offer you can't refuse.
Yep.
But yeah, that's I mean
I always like it. Someone was joking about, because Downey won that Oscar for Oppenheimer, and someone was saying like, we gave him that Oscar a little too quick. Like we should have made him work for it a little more before he just went right back to
yeah,
the MCU. like,
yeah,
let
yeah,
him be nominated but not win for Oppenheimer, and then he would feel a little bit like, okay, I gotta at least do one other movie to try to win it again.
yeah. I just I've talked about it again and again, but I think that casting for Doom is so fucking stupid,
Very
and
very
they have
annoying. Yeah.
more or less confirmed that it is going to be a Tony Stark variant, which again is so.
Maybe he'll sell me on it. Maybe in the final product he'll be scary and
I mean, I
cool,
don't
but I
think he
don't
can't
know.
bring the heat, but like again, it's you just make a Doom, just
Yeah, yeah.
and like I don't know because this movie is Doomsday, right? The title of this movie is Doomsday, but
Yeah.
it's full of X-Men. Like,
Yep.
how is this gonna work? How is this like this casting list? And this is what most people have been saying.
My my prediction might be that they're gonna pull another like multiverse of madness where it's like, oh, each or Deadpool and Wolverine, where they're gonna be like, oh, our universes are dying because of the evil of Doom or whatever,
Well,
and
so
we're just gonna get the Fox X-Men going out nobly to save the day, and
maybe
then maybe post credits will be Sadie Sink as the Jean Grey there.
the rolling thought is that it's going to be because the whole incursion thing is that the two Earths collide, and you kind of have to duke it out to like see what Earth ends up being the surviving Earth.
Mm.
So the idea is
That's what the
Avengers.
Secret Wars would be, right?
Yeah, so the idea is an Avengers versus X-Men kind of scenario, and then towards like the
They have their
end,
Davy back game for the
yeah,
fate of the Earth.
yeah, they're fighting to determine whose Earth is gonna survive, and then at the end, Doom shows up. But then that makes it an Avengers versus X-Men movie, not a Doomsday movie. Like,
Right.
is this gonna be a movie where like Doom doesn't show up until the end? Are they gonna kind of like, because like Infinity War, I guess, kind of does that, where like Thanos shows up, but he doesn't really like bring the thunder until like the last 15
Yeah.
minutes, and it's effective because they spent a lot of time hyping him up and on getting the stones. They have the
Right,
big
but Doctor Doom was a last minute replacement when the
yeah,
Kang thing.
yeah, and
They've
Thanos
pulled the
had the
plug.
benefit of being teased, set up, and talked about for like 15 fucking movies before
Right, right.
before Infinity War. This is very much a Hail Mary, but like even with this cast, I don't see how Doom is gonna fit into it. Like are the X-Men gonna come from a universe where the same universe that he comes from, and he's just like enslaved it? So they're like the Resistance, I guess. But like
Mhm.
Doom doesn't usually care about the X-Men, so that would be kind of weird. We know. I mean, I think it's safe to say at this point that Doom is not coming from the same universe as the Fantastic Four, which again is fucking insane. That
Yeah,
like
yeah, that is
by
a huge level.
all intents and purposes, the Fantastic Four will have not had any interactions with Doom before the events of Doomsday,
Right.
which, you know,
When in that trailer that leaked when there was the giant eyeball of Galactus, I thought it was Doom when he grows big, and I was like, oh cool, they're going there, but they're clearly not.
no.
Which is a
I guess
bummer.
one way you could do it is that the Fantastic Four land in Doom's territory,
Hmm.
and while the X-Men and Avengers are fighting or like dealing with shit, you keep cutting to Doom pretending to be Reed's friend and getting him like all buddy buddy and like having him help him build a machine, and then Reed doesn't realize until the end that, oh shit, he's the bad guy. I guess that's
Yeah, I
one
know
way of
that
doing it.
that was a speculation, right? That this Fantastic Four movie might end with they actually fail to save their universe from Galactus,
Yeah, and that they instead
and,
have to get
and
shuttled off to another.
they're like refugees, and yeah, I could see that could work. They could meet Doom, and Doom could be friendly and try and help him out, and a friendship develops that then goes sour, and that would be
Yeah.
their yeah. So I vaguely could see that. It would still be kind of a waste of that relationship to
Oh,
just like set it
absolutely.
up
Yeah.
so quick, and then yeah.
Immediately make it bad. Yeah, no. But like they've got to do something because they just don't have time to make Doctor Doom into an actual thing. So
Which is why I'm thinking they're just gonna retread Deadpool and Wolverine and just have Doom like kill all our beloved Fox characters to show that he's a tough guy, like to give him some cred really fast.
maybe
Like
they did that. They legitimately did that in Deadpool and Wolverine.
yeah, he'll like squish Ian McKellen's head
And
into
I mean,
goo.
technically,
Be like,
there is
whoa.
precedence for it because the only other thing Patrick Stewart was in Multiverse of Madness, and that also included Wanda
Yep,
murdering the fuck out of
murdering
him.
him.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's clearly gonna be X-Men heavy. I doubt they're going to just have them appear just to be like epically killed or anything like that. This Avengers cast is really weird too because like I guess Anthony Mackie doesn't call his old buddy Bruce Banner to come and help, or Brie
Yeah, no, Ruffalo.
Larson, or Doctor Strange, or and it's funny that Doctor Strange isn't in this because Doctor Strange is legitimately the only character who has set up any of this because he's the only character who has set up
Even
anything
around.
in Incursions, who has been in the multiverse. Like he's the only one who knows
Well,
about.
him and Loki, right?
Yeah, but Loki, the end of Loki season 2 has Loki become the god of stories and the one holding the whole multiverse together. Like he starts
Oh,
grabbing
okay.
the he's grabbing like the tendrils of the
He's the
universe.
linchpin of the entire multiverse,
He's
like the
he is
tree of
yeah, he is
reality.
legitimately the fucking linchpin of the entire multiverse, which is why most
Good
people
for him.
think this movie's going to end with Doom killing him or destroying him and becoming the new god of story
Right.
so it could do
Even though
secret
Loki
wars.
also tragically died in Infinity War, so it would be very funny if he just keeps getting killed by the big bad of the phases. Like just
I kind of think but like that's really the only reason to have Tom Hiddleston in it is to
I
have
feel like
him
he might my guess for me, and maybe anything could happen. As Lawrence of Arabia says, nothing is written. Um, which is actually, I think that movie is just under 4 hours. So Lawrence of Arabia is also shorter than the MCU chair presentation. Um, but I would guess that Loki would show up like how Doctor Strange appears in Thor Ragnarok. Like, they're having tea with him, and he's like, "Oh, I can help you get this," or something. Like Loki will just be like, "Oh,
potentially,
you
but he's
found
like a
my
major
domain."
he's the fucking linchpin of the multiverse now. So like if
Yeah, so
Robert
they'll
Downey
they'll
Jr. wants the top spot, he's got to take down Loki. He's just
they'll end up in his throne room, the Young Avengers or something, and he'll be like, "Oh, let me send you here through a portal and tell my brother Thor I love him," or whatever, and you'd be like, "Oh, cool!" Like I could totally see that happening. Loki is getting just a little 5 minute like, "Hey guys,
hey, I'm
bye."
Loki. I'm still here, holding on to all these strands.
Don't forget to wear a sweater. All right, bye.
Oh.
Good luck on your adventure.
So I maybe Anthony Mackie's just like, I don't really know who to call for the Avengers, and Sebastian Stan rolls up and says, "Hey, you want to borrow my guys? Here they are." Oh, and I picked up Paul Rudd on the way. Paul Rudd just pops out like, "Hey guys."
I bet.
Yeah.
Dollars to donuts.
Dollars to donuts, man. Dollars to donuts. And Chris Hemsworth just comes in, lands like a wrecking ball, and is just like, I'm here too.
Yep. Hello, it's me.
Hello, it's me. It's me, Thor, played by Chris Hemsworth. I'm here to help. He got his hammer back at the end of that movie, right? And then
I think so, because he and his daughter are jumping in the air and he's holding something.
His
so
daughter
yeah, some kind of hammer.
gets the axe and he gets the hammer, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does this cast list fill you with excitement?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are you itching to see the Fox X-Men come back?
Yeah, 2026 can't come soon enough. When does this come out?
26. Isn't
All
that
right,
Spider-Man
26.
Doesn't the Spider-Man movie come out first? How's that going? Spider-Man movie.
Let's check. I think we've had this exact same talk on another Marvel movie episode.
Probably.
But let me see which ones are coming up. Like, what's the current roster? The Marvel Cinematic Universe feature films.
A sequel is scheduled for release in July 2026.
Okay, and then what else is coming out? So we got Thunderbolts in May. We got Fantastic Four in July, and then Avengers Doomsday. So Spider-Man comes out after Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, okay. Hang on. So Spider-Man
is July 2026, and then Avengers Secret Wars is May 2027.
Okay. So I guess it'll be right in the thick of that, supposedly.
And then Armor Wars, Black Panther 3, Blade, Shang-Chi sequel, and X-Men are all movies that are not slotted, don't have release dates, but they are in development.
Oh. What's your hot take on the Sadie Sink thing?
Oh, she'll probably just be Jean Grey. But I would be cool if she was Firestar. That's
really
my take.
Should be Firestar, but
I believe you'll.
The Jean Grey thing is just really strange to me. Like I don't
like I said to you when we talked about this previously. I think Marvel is only thinking about these in terms of like, oh, X-Men is one of our next ones, so someone from X-Men should show up in Spider-Man. Like they're not thinking about whether it makes sense or feels right. It's just like, who do we need to promote? Is essentially the way they're writing these.
Additional actors slated to appear in the film are Chris Evans in an undisclosed role, Jeremy Renner as Cliff Barton, Hawkeye, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, Tom Holland as Peter Parker, and Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter. Guys,
hey,
I'm pretty sure those names would have been in there if they were gonna be in here. Probably. I mean, they had 5 hours to get those chairs out, so I think they would have done that. Lewis Pullman as Bob/Sentry, a superpowered individual. Sentry has more than just that. He has stuff. Poor Sentry. But yeah, that's the casting. I think the way they did it was dumb. I think several of the casting choices are dumb. I understand everybody really loves the Sony X-Men. I get it. I grew up on those movies too. I just recently rewatched them. I enjoy them quite a bit, but man, oh man, it would be nice to see some other casting for these guys. Legitimately. Agreed. To be fair, you did other casting. You gave me James McAvoy. You gave me Michael Fassbender. You gave me all of them. And you know what? Not all of those movies were bad. Do it again. Give me another new cast. I want you to. You said a thing to me, and that's the last thing I want to talk about. In private, you said a thing to me about how they don't get endings, and I want you to bring that up because that's the final note I want to end on. you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, there was an amazing article. I didn't even read it, so maybe it was just a clickbait title. But let me find it to read the title to our listeners because it is so crazy. Okay, yeah, here it is from one of my personal arch enemies slash film, which is a movie news site that at one point was pretty good, but has been inundated with clickbait. There's a new article like every 5 minutes on that site because they are
Absolutely.
just like crank it out. I don't care what it is. We just need to maximize, the stream of articles. But the title for this one is Marvel Studios could give the X-Men what Fox never could, an ending.
Fuck that.
Which
That is so stupid. I mean, to be fair, they gave him so many endings. So you're not wrong in the idea that like they just kept bringing him back, but like there are so many of those movies are ending movies that it's not even funny.
And X-Men Days of Future Past specifically is the ending to the Patrick Stewart X-Men. Yes, it continues with James McAvoy's crew, but Logan wakes up and all of his buddies are back,
Yep.
and they're all late for class or whatever, and he smiles and it's very heartwarming, You're like, "Oh, I'm glad that long-suffering character finally got Jean Grey back and the Rogue and Iceman and all his buddies
And
are there with
I
him."
hate to tell you, but the MCU is not a place known for ending things.
No, that's also the thing where I'm like, MCU, yes, famously very famous for giving characters endings.
Matter of fact, their first thing that they did with the Fox X-Men is to bring back Logan, who had one of the greatest ending movies in all of comicdom.
Yes,
And they
a very
immediately brought him back.
thing.
The minute they
When
had those people, they were like, "Yep, he's coming back."
Yep. When the man comes around.
Yep. And they even dug up his corpse and and even used that. So it's, canonically Logan ends with Deadpool coming into his universe and using his corpse to the soundtrack of NSYNC.
Yep, and I think he pees on it and also
Yep.
masturbates into one of the eyeballs, if I'm remembering that scene right. Yeah.
Yeah. So fuck you if you think the X-Men, if you think that this movie, because what is gonna happen in this movie is they're gonna die, like 100%, because this can't be the new X-Men cast. Like there's just no way that the Mutant Saga is gonna feature these X-Men.
Patrick Stewart.
They have to recast. Patrick Stewart is. Hang on, I want to know just to make sure.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be ageist, but like
he is 84 years old, and the Mutant Saga is
he looks good for 84.
No, he looks fucking great for 84. So does Ian McKellen, however old fucking he is. But like, the Mutant Saga is at least another 5 to 8 years away. Dude is not going to be playing this guy into his 90s as much as Hugh Jackman might be doing it. I don't think Patrick Stewart is going to be doing it.
Yeah, because Hugh Jackman's got all his steroids to help him out.
Yeah, and he's got all the time. He's busy doing stage. Like he has rest in between because he just goes on stage and sings when he's not doing these movies.
Does his Broadway musicals or what have you.
Yeah. But so they have to die. Like they have to die and or save. I mean, the other thing is they could save their universe and like, but then get blocked off and like, oh, it was a pleasure meeting you guys as we float away.
Yeah, I'm guessing that'll happen. Which again already happened in Multiverse of Madness. So it'll be very funny if Patrick Stewart dies heroically again to save the multiverse.
Yeah, or magically flies away to save the universe again. But yeah, so like, you're not gonna get an ending near as good as like fucking Logan or anything because they either, like you just said, they've already done that ending, so they're not gonna do that ending again, or they will do that ending again and it'll be funny. But like they're probably gonna take their time, help them save the multiverse, and then be gone. And then we're back to square one with like, okay, well, who are the new X-Men? Instead of just making the new X-Men now.
Yep.
But yeah, but that's the casting news. It was a dumb 5.5 hours, but there were lots of chairs.
But we made a pretty fun hour and change out of it, I
Yeah,
gotta say.
absolutely. It was a delight as always.
Let's see, any closing thoughts, Tanner,
No,
as the MCU head of the
I'm
room?
so brain dead on this. Like
Daredevil Born Again. It's pretty good, right?
Daredevil Born Again is good. It is very enjoyable.
So
It
it
kind
can
of
be done.
my only problem with it is that it did the whole like, oh, he's retired from the mask and he has to go through his thing to put it back on, but they
Yeah.
did it
That
in a
works.
reasonable amount of time. It only took 5 episodes for him to become Daredevil again, so I guess
Okay,
that's
so 5
okay.
Daredevil-less episodes, but he's
Yeah.
finally kicking ass.
Well, he was kicking ass in the other ones in a different way, but like, yeah, he didn't put on the costume until the fifth or
I
sixth
see.
episode.
And is it the same kind of goofy looking armor costume
It
he
is kind
wears?
of goofy looking. It's better, but they retained a hint of the goofiness. Actually, I'm kind of surprised that Charlie Cox wasn't in this casting list because I really think like they gotta let this guy actually be in a movie at this point. Like
Yeah,
it's
they had him cameo in No Way Home, and everybody applauded in my theater
yeah,
when
yeah.
he showed up.
Oh, that's
So,
right. He is in No Way Home. Yeah, they got to do it. He's
yeah,
like the Daredevil now too. Like he voiced him in that Spider-Man Friendly Neighborhood movie or that Friendly
cool.
Neighborhood show. So like he's it now. So him and Kingpin are like it.
Locked in.
Yeah,
Those are
locked in.
the MCU Kingpin and Daredevil.
Yep. But all right,
Will we
we're
ever get
gonna.
will we ever get Iron Fist back, do you think?
There have been rumors that all the defenders are coming back, but I doubt
Yeah.
it. I think you could
Will,
get.
do you think Kristen Ritter will show up in
I think you
Doomsday?
could get Kristen Ritter, but does Kristen Ritter want to come back? Is the question. Like I've never really heard her talk about like it,
Her deep love for
her
the
deep love
MCU.
for Jessica Jones as a character, but sure. I
Who
think
knows?
I think you get fucking Luke Cage back. I think that's a good choice. That guy
He'd be
kicks
down.
ass. Yeah.
And also, I jokingly said that Dwayne Johnson or Channing Tatum should have been Wonder Man, not realizing that there is a Wonder Man show coming up with the dude who played Black Manta as him.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is like scheduled for Disney Plus and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, Wonder Man. Yeah. No, I mean that's
Yeah. So I was just
supposedly
saying
gonna
him
be
like I was
coming.
just picking a random character that I thought Channing Tatum would play, but I guess Disney Plus already has a Wonder Man show coming out with Yahya Abdul Mateen II as Wonder Man. So get ready for that.
Yep. And fucking Ironheart is gonna be doing something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean the TV
I
stuff
do resent
is
those. I do resent those TV shows. I'm sure some of them are pretty good, but like that is what caused me to break up permanently with the MCU because I'm not a TV guy. So I was
yeah.
just like,
I mean
nope,
I
it's
love
not gonna.
WandaVision and
It ain't happening.
I love WandaVision and Daredevil Born Again is pretty good, but like anything else is kind of like I didn't mind She-Hulk, but I get why people don't like it.
Yeah,
I think it was a waste of that character.
you're
But
not
I'm
too
pretty
keen
sure
on
she's
the.
pretty sure she's gonna be in Secret Wars. So
But did you like Hawkeye or Echo or Moon Knight?
Hawkeye's not bad. Moon Knight's okay. Echo I really liked for the Kingpin stuff, and I thought she was actually pretty good as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's not that there's bad stuff. It's just like I don't really know what Marvel wants to do with that stuff, and
Yeah,
like
Secret Invasion and the Miss Marvel and all that
yeah,
stuff.
like
Agatha all along.
I don't Agatha all along I really liked. I will admit I enjoyed
All
it
right.
quite a bit, but I'm also a huge fan of Wiccan, and so that's probably a lot of
Yeah,
it.
so the fact that they confirmed that that dumb kid was Wiccan really made your day or
Yeah,
whatever.
and I also really liked Catherine. Catherine Hahn's always great. Like I guess I would say that there are more things I like about the Marvel shows than don't like. Because that Werewolf by Night special is also pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where like I'm not saying everything has to cross into the movies, but like it helped to know like where they want this stuff to go TV wise, because like even the old Netflix stuff did kind of build into something. It built into Defenders, um, and that was cool. Like I enjoyed the Defender stuff quite a bit, even though Iron Fist was kind of dumb. But like the MCU TV stuff, it just comes. There's one season of it, and then it's over, and it never really gets mentioned again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Moon Knight, is Moon Knight ever gonna show up again in any of this? Is like he ever
I
gonna
don't
get a
know. Yeah.
second season? Like, and I'm not saying, to your point, like, stuff can end. Like he doesn't, Moon Knight can just have one season. That's fine. But you've also kind of built this universe on like these characters coming back and checking in and stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like you
Their
said,
bread,
TV,
their bread and butter is the crosser overing.
yeah, and like you said, TV can go longer. So like, it's weird that like, oh, here's a season of Moon Knight and it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. But who knows if you'll ever see him again, or if it won't be like years later until you see him again. Like I don't. Again, it's just kind of TV is such a weird place for Marvel that I can't really say that I like get in on it all that much.
Yeah. And also way too much of it. I
Oh
will
yeah,
say,
no,
like, even
there is way too much of it
like
as well.
I just counted like 8 shows that came and went. So like, yeah, of course you're not gonna like how many of those are gonna stick in your head.
Yeah, and then they just get a season, and then it's just like, okay, well, on to the next. Like,
Yep.
like even fucking Star Wars, like Mandalorian and Grogu is on what, its 9th fucking season. Is now about to get a movie, and like, but then you have stuff like Acolyte and like Ashoka that only go one season, or like, but like I don't know, it's Disney does not know how to handle TV, in a way that I would say works really well for them.
No. I think they because they really needed Disney Plus to like hit it big. They really like decided to overemphasize how much you needed to watch TV shows to be part of the Star Wars or Marvel conversation. But I will admit I am biased as someone who does not watch a lot of TV.
You're not a big TV guy anymore, but yeah.
I'm like, don't you tell me I gotta care about TV? Get away.
All right, man. Well, anyway, that's the take on the casting. I hope you've all enjoyed this sort of rant, sort of not rant, but I will say to turn it back into rant territory, it was all real dumb. So there you go. But yeah, this is our stuff is not dumb though, and we will continue to truck.
No. We're geniuses.
We're geniuses. We're geniuses of the most epic order, and we will continue to make amazing content and continue.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline coming out, no less.
Like you will soon you'll get to watch us absolutely lose our mind to Jerry Maguire, because this will probably come out first. So
we will show you the money.
Yeah,
and I know Craven the Hunter just dropped, I believe.
Craven the Hunter did just drop, which is a very enjoyable movie for all the wrong reasons, and I greatly enjoyed.
And that one, listeners, if you enjoyed the Drunkmentary, partway through that one, I get bored of the movie and pop a little bit of something very magical to see if it helps. Spoiler alert, it doesn't really.
And I lose my mind over one very specific character name drop that has no bearing on anything.
No. One of the craziest,
one of the funniest things ever.
You're just casually introducing one of the most important figures in Spider-Man in a weird throwaway line.
And several weird throwaway lines, because it gets mentioned twice.
He gets a lot of mysterious character.
Yep, but yeah, so look forward to that. But for now, we will let you go. I think I believe our next thrilling commentary will be Gone in 60 Seconds, which I'm super excited to show.
After Saltburn. Saltburn, then Gone in 60 seconds.
Saltburn first. Always Saltburn. But for now, I hope you all have a great rest of the night, and we will see you all in the next one.
Take it easy, Tanner. Thank you for the MCU info.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for, to make you laugh at my pain.